Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Audible podcast. Today, we are going to be making a prediction for the Michigan schedule and the wins and losses for the season. So, you want to just get right started? Well, Michigan might travel down to Washington if this game even
Yeah,
happens at all. I mean, I don't see this game happening, to be honest with you.
yeah.
Um,
So, all right. Well, so Michigan, Washington. All right. We have to preface this by saying Nathan is a Michigan fan. But who do you have winning that one?
if it happens, I do think that Michigan will win.
Agreed. I think.
But I do not
Yeah.
think it's going to happen, unfortunately. I
I
think all
think.
the out of conference
Yeah.
games will be canceled.
So, with that, I think I don't know a lot about Washington. They're a decent opponent, I would assume. But I just think even away, I just think Michigan pulls it out week one.
Well, they have a
All
new
right.
coach. I think it's kind of a dumpster fire right now in
Oh,
Washington,
really?
from what I understand. Ball
Yeah.
State, Arkansas State, Michigan wins both of those.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Yeah.
Shouldn't be
That's the same.
competitive.
All right. Now we get interesting. What do you think with this one?
Okay, Wisconsin comes to Michigan Stadium. Here's what happens with both Wisconsin and Penn State, and this will answer who I think wins both of these. So with Wisconsin and Penn State, the home team has won every game when these two teams have played in the Jim Harbaugh
Yeah.
era, except for I think Michigan beat Penn State in Happy Valley in 2015. But recently, it's been going back and forth, home teams. So I think Michigan pulls out the win in Michigan Stadium against Wisconsin.
So all right, yes, I agree with Wisconsin. I think they beat Wisconsin, but the next week I think they get on a winning streak. So they're home another week. I think Penn State gets them, and week 5 is their first loss. I think I don't know. That's just I feel like Penn State can pull that out.
Well, here's the thing too. I think part of these games is the atmosphere at the stadiums. If this was in a Happy Valley at a whiteout, I think Penn State would win. But
Yeah,
but then also I'm kind of this is basically going to be a neutral site. All these are neutral site games basically. Assuming
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
so I would think about taking Penn State, but I do think Michigan wins. I think Michigan has a hard time playing on the road. I mean,
yeah.
I don't really know how hard they've been losing most of their bowl games, so I guess they're not that great at neutral sites recently. But I still
Yeah.
think that we're going to be able to beat Pennsylvania.
Yep. All right. Well, all right. And then this is a game that I always look forward to. Not recently.
Not
but,
recently.
Um,
Michigan goes on a 3-game winning streak in East Lansing.
3-game winning streak. I gotta agree. As much as I'm hesitant about it, I gotta agree. I think we have new coach. We don't have our quarterback anymore who's played there and knows that, and so it's restarting with a new coach and a new system and all this stuff. And I think Michigan pulls it out. Been really dominant recently.
Well, I think this whole
This is
COVID thing is really hurting Michigan State. I mean, no training camps,
yeah.
anything. I mean, Michigan State
hmm
is going to have a rough year, I think. But we'll talk about that
So
in another video.
I think all right. So Michigan, Minnesota. I think Michigan wins it, but I feel like that could be a tricky game. Minnesota went on a run when no one expected them to last year. And I think in Minnesota, if by this time fans are allowed, then I think Minnesota wins it. But for now, I think I'm going to go with Michigan.
Okay, I think the boat is going to get rowing, and I think that PJ Fleck pulls out a huge win against Michigan,
Mhm.
and I think that's going to be Michigan's first loss of the year.
Yeah.
I mean, they really got something going, last year.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think PJ Fleck is a good coach, and I think that
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
being home, especially if there are fans there, I think Minnesota might pull. They beat Penn State, at their place, last year. I think they can do
Yeah.
the same thing to Michigan.
And I think the next 3 we got 3 pretty confident win against Purdue, win against Maryland, and obviously a loss against Rutgers. Very good football program.
Yes, we all know that they are at the top of the Big Ten East.
Yeah, definitely. So no,
Okay.
I think definitely a win against Purdue. I think yeah. Maryland, yeah, that's a win. After coming off the bye week, again the home doesn't really matter, but I think Michigan pulls that one out too. So and then yeah, Rutgers, that's when all is lost, as a Michigan State fan, when all is lost, you get to play Rutgers once a year.
I saw this on Reddit not too long ago. Rutgers is the Big Ten stress pillow. When you have a bad day, you just beat up Rutgers.
and you'll feel better even if it's just for 7 days. You'll feel better about yourself.
So this next game, Indiana comes to Michigan.
It's an interesting game.
So Michigan has beaten Indiana for the past 28 years, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
But Indiana has taken Michigan to overtime. At least 3, maybe 2 of those times. Indiana is on the verge of finally winning this game, but I still think that Michigan wins.
Yeah, man, that's my thoughts exactly. And then it all wraps up.
I don't want to talk about this one. It's too much.
Biggest game of the year. So can we just assume that you have them going 10-2, Nathan?
Yeah.
All right.
I don't want to. It's painful. It's tough,
Yeah. No, I agree. I have them.
I want them to win 1 in the next 5 years. Maybe if we're lucky.
Yeah.
It's tough. Ohio State is just too good.
Ryan Day could go into a little sophomore slump. He could second year.
Don't bring up my hopes.
Urban's been out for 2 years, or this will be his second year out. All the Urban stuff is getting phased out now. So there's a chance that last year they were still riding on some success and some signings and stuff like that from Urban Meyer, and it's all getting phased out now. So there's a chance.
Well, here's the thing about Ryan Day too. I mean, he got handed the keys of like a Lamborghini. Okay,
Exactly.
He could have sat on his ass and done nothing last year, and they could have won at least 8 or 9 games. I'm not saying that he's a bad coach.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously he's a phenomenal coach there, but I'm just saying, Ohio State. I mean, they Urban Meyer had it already set up for them. I mean, he left them in a good state, unlike Mark D'Antonio.
So I have Michigan going 10-2 with losses to Penn State and that team down south.
That team down south. Yeah, so Ohio State is a loss, and I also have Minnesota as a loss.
I think Minnesota again is a trick game, and that I think the Wisconsin Penn State games, those 2 games, I guess they could go any other way, but I don't really see them losing more than 3 games.
Yeah, and then of course we'll lose our bowl game, and then we'll repeat the cycle next year. It's tough.
Exactly.
It's tough. Well, thank you guys for listening to this episode of the Audible podcast. Maybe next time we'll have another season, probably Michigan State next, because I know that's Carter's team. Stay tuned for more NFL and college football content. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. Bye.